But Cody, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your band and the music that you play?
Yeah, so my name's Cody Tyler. I'm with Cody Tyler and Gypsy Convoy. So we play what we've sort of dubbed as black dirt country music. So a lot of people ask us, what the heck is that? So in Oklahoma and Texas, about 20, 30 years ago, there was a movement started that blended Southern rock, country music, a little bit of blues, a little bit of rock and roll called red dirt country. Bands like Cross Canadian Ragweed, Turnpike Troubadours, Cody Jinks is a pretty recent one that's cropped up over the last decade or so.
Cody Jinks is probably
has sort of
probably the most famous one that I know of from that Red Dirt movement. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So we play sort of in that style, but in Pennsylvania, our dirt isn't really red. We come from a very fertile area of Pennsylvania, like especially around, like Berks County, Lancaster County, that kind of area, where the dirt is black and fertile. We don't have red dirt, really. And then you go further north into the coal regions where some of my family was from, 100 years ago, and it's black, it's coal dust, and it's coal mines and stuff like that. So we thought that black dirt was like the best way to sort of describe our sound, because we also blend influences of Southern rock and blues and rock and roll into our country sound. And the musicians in the band with me come from all sorts of different backgrounds. Our drummer, Ken Medham, is a highly trained jazz drummer, actually. And then our bass player, Kenny Pevley, he's a big Rush guy. Our keyboard player, Lenny Casper, he's a big Yes and Rush and a lot of classic rock as well. They all played in rock and blues bands their whole lives, and really, this is the first time they've played in a country band. So those influences come out, and we encourage that. We have people that come to our shows all the time and say, I'm not a country fan, but I like what you guys do. And then we have country fans that come and say, I'm not really a rock fan either, but I like the country you do, and I like the rock and stuff you do too. So it sort of has this, the people who do come and see us, it has a broad appeal. So that's kind of what we do. It's a little bit of everything, as long as there's guitars involved.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a fan of country music, but not like modern country. I don't really like what's happened in the last 10 years in country music, where it's become very auto-tuned. Like I was just listening to Morgan Wallen earlier this week, and he does a cover of "Cover Me Up" by Jason Isbell, which I love. Jason Isbell, probably one of the best. I don't know if he's exactly country. He's like Americana music, but he does a cover of that, and it's basically the exact same thing with what I'm dubbing country autotune. So I'm not a big fan of that country autotune sound.
Overproduced,
way
overproduced.
Just not I'm like a real I guess I'm a black dirt country fan and a red dirt country fan, and I mean I like bands like Sturgill Simpson. That's like the only country band that's come out in the last 10 years that I like.
Tell me a story in the song too.
Tell me a story. Johnny Cash, I go way back with my country. Johnny Cash, Marty Robbins. I mean, I like that stuff.
I was just spinning Marty Robbins this morning before I got on here. I'm a huge vinyl nut. Here, let me see if I can flip this camera.
Is it the Gunslinger album, the one with him on the cover?
Vinyl setup, and I've got Marty right there.
Yep, you sure do. That's a good album. My dad was a huge Marty Robbins fan. I actually have that album.
That's a beautiful setup too.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice.
Right,
all my vinyls are in the cupboard behind me.
that's look at that. That is a beautiful setup you got going on.
I'm digging the resonator guitar. I got one of those, but mine's an electric resonator, Dan Electro.
Oh, so, nice.
I'm a big slide fan.
That's our setup, and that flag with our logo on it, that was given to us by a good friend of ours up at a show that we played in Benton, Pennsylvania, a little bar called RC's. And when I moved into this house, I was like, well, that's where it has to go.
Right.
It has to go. We can't have anything else. We just American flag with our logo on it above the turntable setup. That's where the flag has to go.
Start there and build from that.
It's a nice setup, but. Yeah, so tell me.
Thanks.
So we're gonna play "A Still That Never Runs Dry." That's your song. I love the slide guitar in that. I mean, I have a weakness. I have a weakness for slide guitar, man. Anybody that knows me knows that I like slide guitar. I love Derek Trucks. I love anything slide, dude. Like if it's got slide guitar in it, I just love it.
Such a cool sound.
So that one really spoke to me. But I'd like to know what you think about that song, how you wrote it, what it's about. Tell the audience a little bit about that song.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned about slide guitar and all that. I played slide through most of that album, and I love the Allman Brothers. They're like my A1, number one favorite band ever. When I showed you my vinyl setup, I have a crate, an Allman Brothers crate. Like, it's just a crate of just Allman Brothers records.
Dan, you obviously have to have Live at the Fillmore, right? That's like the best.
Oh.
That's the best.
I got 2 copies.
Oh, dude, Statesboro Blues, that's like the fucking best. That slide guitar on that, just so sick. You got 2 copies of Fillmore.
Yeah, I've got 2 copies of Fillmore, 2 copies of Eat a Peach. Those are my Desert Island records.
Yeah, those are good records, man. I don't have either one of those. So
look, he's dedicated.
I have them in my playlist though, my Apple playlist. So
nice. So yeah, anyway, the Still That Never Goes Dry. I played a little slide on that. Ted Russell plays pedal steel on that too, which his sound is just wonderful. He's a pedal steel player from New Jersey. He's incredible. So that song I wrote about 6 years ago. I flew out to LA. I got an audition with The Voice. So they came to Philadelphia for open call. This is all pre-COVID, obviously, because nowadays they don't travel anymore. You just take a video on a phone or a camera and you send it in. They still do virtual auditions ever since COVID. So this is pre-COVID. They came to Philly. I went down there for an open call. Anybody shows up. Got in a room with 10 people in it, and we all took turns singing a cappella, verse and a chorus, about 30 to 45 seconds. They picked me and one other person out of that group of 10 to come for a callback audition the next day at a studio in Philly. So we went to that studio, they taped us, they sent the tapes off to LA to the executive producers, and they said, if you get through, you'll fly to LA. So I got through that round. They flew me to Los Angeles, and they said, you made the top 150 in the country. It was for season 14 of The Voice. I don't even know who won that year. And then they said, if you get through this round, you'll have a chance at a blind audition. The ones that you see on TV. So there's at least 3 rounds before the TV part. We didn't get that far, so they take 75 people for the TV auditions, the blind auditions, where you actually get to see the judges, but you won't see the judges until they turn their chair around. That's the whole process of that.
I'll be honest, I've never even seen The Voice, so I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
No, I've watched it. I've watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah. It's really cool because their back is to you, and they just have to go off of what they hear.
Okay. I'm thinking of America's Got Talent when you say The Voice. I've never seen The Voice. I've seen America's Got Talent and American Idol, and those sound like they're a little bit different. So.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's cool that you even got on to do the audition part of it. Like, got to go to some of the rounds. I mean, obviously you're very talented.
Thank you.
I think you should have won The Voice, but I never watch it.
There's everybody when you get to that top 150 stage is super, super talented. I think they're just kind of narrowing down who has the best backstory at that point.
Yeah.
So we were somewhere between 76 and 150, so they sent us home, and on the plane ride home was when I wrote this song.
Okay.
My wife and we had been dating since like November, December 2016. And this was summer 2017, and I had to spend a good bit of time away from her, being out in Los Angeles for a little bit. So on that plane ride home, I was like, I just can't wait to get home. I miss her so bad, and that song just kind of came out on the plane. So that's where, like, when you get into that verse, now I'm over Mississippi, you're probably on the ground. That's where that line comes from, because that's where I was in that space and time writing that song.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That is a really cool story.
That's kind of how it came out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we do these interviews. I like to hear the stories behind the songs that I like the most. And I mean, that's my favorite song by you. I mean, I like the Playing with Firewater. I think that's probably your most played. Is that correct? Or what's your most played song on Spotify?
It's probably either that one or Fate I Can't Outrun. It's definitely between those two.
Yeah, those are both really great songs, and I could see the mass appeal to it, but man, that slide and the pedal still really got me. I'm going to ask the audience if they have any questions for you. We got a few people chatting. I'll leave it open. If anybody, like Dr. D, you got any questions for Cody Tyler?
Well,
Trish, if not, no big.
I could throw this in there. It's like you just played. I saw you were at Tellus last night.
Yes. So we were on the rooftop there last night. That was my first time playing up on the roof. I had never I've been to countless shows at Telus, and I've played at a good number of shows there, but I've never been up on the roof. So that was the first time last night, being on the roof.
I didn't even know they had a stage on the roof.
It's like a space, right? They have like a stage space or something. I've never been up to the roof on there. I've seen pictures from some other people that have done things or been involved in things on the roof. It looks like it'd be a cool spot to play, though. Like,
it's so cool. It was vibey. It was a beautiful night. It was perfect. Everything was perfect.
Dr. D says the roof is a vibe, and he also said congrats on being on The Voice. I guess Dr. D might watch The Voice.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So I don't know many of the country artists in the area. I know you. I know the Highway Boys. I met them at the CPMAs.
Oh, cool.
I met you at the CPMAs too, but
Yep.
yeah, I don't know who else do you play with? Like, who gets on your bills with you? Like, what kind of bands? What bands are playing with you? I guess.
So actually, just recently, the guy I'm wearing right now, this is Colin King. So we play with him quite a bit, and he just put out his first EP a couple weeks ago, and we did a release show together where I actually played lead guitar in his band.
Oh, cool.
On April 29th, we did that at the Gem down in Spring City. It's across the river from Royersford.
Yep. Yep. We know the Gem.
So we went down there, and he had his release show. He had at least 70-something people. That was a good time. But he told me, he's like, man, my guitar player can't make it that weekend. Would you mind filling in and maybe bring the bass player from your band with? And I said, sure. So we brought Kenny from Gypsy Convoy and my band and me, and we got together here at my house, actually in this room, and we learned all of his original songs, and we did some covers, and we used this practice space to practice for his release show for about 3 weeks.
Nice.
And we did the show, and it was fun. Another guy we play with a lot is Sam Schmidhuber. So Colin King is actually the bass player in Sam Schmidhuber's band. So actually all three of us are getting together this summer. We're playing July 22nd at R&J Retreat in Birdsboro. It's a private residence, but they're opening up. It's a house festival. It's called Ramble in the Woods House Festival. So it's got Colin King's band, Sam Schmidhuber's band, and my band. And we just sold out of tickets yesterday. So we've got over 100 people coming. We got a food truck. We're going to have a beer truck there.
But you're sold out, so nobody here can buy a ticket.
No, I'm sorry.
Dang it!
If you can get a hold of Rhonda and Jerry Haldeman and maybe sweet talk them, maybe they'll let you in with a press pass or something.
Hey, I haven't tried to get a press pass. I should get one of those.
I made myself one once. It looked official, so I was like,
oh yeah, I remember when you did that.
Give you one of our crew lanyards, and you can take one of our crew lanyards and just get in that way.
What's the date on that?
To help us load in.
What's the date on that one?
What's that?
What's the date?
Oh, it's Saturday, July 22nd, which also happens to be my dad's 60th birthday, so he'll be part of the entertainment as well then, since it's his birthday.
Okay.
He's going to have a good time.
Yeah,
well, I actually have plans that weekend, but...
Dr. D wants a press pass to the show.
Yeah, Dr. D, we need... So now that we're like an official... We're official radio show, right? We should all get press
exactly.
passes.
We need press passes now.
I'll just print some.
That's right.
Just print some. We might get into some places. All right. Well, Cody, Tyler, thank you so much for being on the show. I will be talking to you about maybe coming on and doing a live performance with us maybe later this summer or early fall. We only do a couple a month where we have a band come in and actually play on my stage. I have a stage over here, and we have bands come in. They co-host, like Jesse's here today because he's part of Effigy, but we had a band called Lives Lost last week. I'd love to have you guys come on and play some country music because
it would sound great in here too. It'd be a full jam in this place.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you what kind of guitar you play. I'm assuming a Tele with country, but I don't know. Maybe you play something else.
Yeah, so it's a Telecaster, and it's got a lot to it. There's a pick guard on it that was custom made. It's birch wood. It was custom made by a company down in Cleveland, Tennessee, by a company called Lucky Dog Guitars. And then I've got some other things on there from Lucky Dog that I've used to kind of customize the Tele. But she's in her case right now, but we just got her name stenciled on the case, Dallas Alice.
Dallas Alice, nice.
I'm a big Little Feat fan. I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm a big Eagles fan, but I love Little Feat. So that line, from the song Willin', Dallas Alice.
Yeah, Little Feat's good. They're
She's
good.
got
They're a good band.
Texas Special Pickups in her, so that's why I was like, I got to give her some kind of a Texas name. So.
You have a B
That
bender
was
or a G bender on it?
I don't. I wish that I did.
You just do it
maybe
yourself.
someday.
You don't mess with it. You just do the little country lick yourself, I imagine.
Yeah, I do the bends. Yeah.
I have a telly with a G and a B bender on it. So.
Oof, that's awesome.
Yeah, the G. Yeah, it's got a G and a B, so the G's activated by your foot, like your thigh. So it's got a little bar that comes down, and then you move your thigh, and it activates the G, and then the B's activated with like a. Well, it's like a whammy bar, but it's not. It looks more like a Bigsby bridge, but it's not. It's a B bender. So.
I've seen a Gibson SG that somebody rigged up to have a G and a B bender on it, and it had like a double bar down at the bridge.
Yeah.
It was weird because he just controlled it with like the heel of his palm, and when he would do slide on it, it would mimic pedal steel.
Yep. That's why I have it. That's why I have it to mimic the pedal steel sound. Because I mean, like I said, I'm a huge slide pedal steel fan. I just love it. So I have that for country. Actually, I've written some country songs with bands that I've been in, and just having that B and G bender there to mimic that pedal steel sound is sick, man. I freaking love it. But mine are activated, one with the thigh. It's got a bar that comes down, and then the other one with your palm. So like the one you were saying. I've seen that Gibson you're talking about, but I got that guitar from a guitar shop in Lidditz that bought it off of somebody, and it's like a custom guitar from some company in California, and I bought it for under $300, and I'm like, there's no way, because I was looking at converting a guitar with these packages that you can get to get a G&B bender on it, and it was like $600-$700 plus you had to pay somebody to do it.
So you don't know what you're selling here?
Yeah, I don't know if he did.
You don't know what you're selling?
I know Ben down at the music shop here in Lidditz, and I'm sure he got it for less than he sold it to me for. But anyway, well, Cody, I really appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to get into some music. We're going to play The Still That Never Runs Dry by Cody Tyler, followed by the Highway Boys with the song Good Damn Story, I think is the name of it. So we got a couple country songs up, and then we're going to get into some metal with Nailbite, Felt Side Out, and a band called Strange Culture. So we're going to get that music up for everyone. Check out Cody Tyler. When's your next show, Cody? Go ahead, plug your next show.
Next show is Saturday, May 20th at Lee's Landing in Port Deposit, Maryland. And today, actually, is the 1-year anniversary of our album, Stare Your Demons Down, that we just won Album of the Year for at the CPMAs this year.
Yeah, that's right. You did win. I saw you get up there with your band and accept the award. And it's a damn good album. Tell us the album again so people can find it.
So the album is called Stare Your Demons Down. They can go to CodyTylerMusic.com and find it on CD there. And then we also have pre-orders for vinyl up. We should have the vinyl in our possession to mail out by the end of the summer. And if you pre-order vinyl, you get
I can pre-order that on your website, the vinyl? All right, I'm definitely doing that because I need another vinyl. Yeah, I've got 4 vinyls from bands. Vinyls are expensive, so not many of the local bands can get a vinyl. But yeah, I'll pick up that pre-order so that I can get a copy. And then you're gonna have to sign it because I don't like having vinyls that aren't signed.
We'll sign it. Yeah, we've 200 units made, and we've got quite a bit pre-ordered, but we've got plenty left for the merch table.
Well, I'll make sure I pre-order one today so they don't sell out, man. Like you got your CPMA award-winning band. So,
yeah, there we go.
Might go away. Might sell out. Actually, if you want to buy one, go to Cody Tyler Music and buy one from Cody so he sells out of these. And
yeah, sell them out.
And then if he has to make a second run, that makes the first run worth more money. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
First editions.
First edition.
First editions.
All right, Cody. Well, thanks again for being on the show. I'll touch base with you about maybe coming out and performing some songs live later this summer or early fall. We're already kind of booked out to August at this point, or at least working on dates the next 2 months because we don't do it every week. But
not a bad thing to have.
Yeah. People, it's always awesome when they come on. But anyway, I'll let you get back to it, Cody. Again, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we're going to be playing A Still That Never Goes Dry right now. Thanks again, man.